Hello, fellow pilots, coming to you live with another video on SpaceBourne 2. Why live? Well, because I'm not dead yet. No, no, no. All right, note to self. Keep your day job. All right, got that covered. So, while I was sitting in Discord with a couple other pilots the other day, we discovered that I was getting paid about 4 times the amount they were for loot, components, and contracts. So we were trying to figure out why that might be the case, and we took a little bit of time trying to explore into that and found out that it's actually options that were made in character creation that are very important and will affect the majority of your gameplay. So before you create your character, hop into the pilot seat and take off to your game experiments and playthroughs, let's take a look at how to actually create your character so that you get the best bang for your buck, we'll call it, out of the game. All right, so what we'll do is we'll come here, go to new game, and here's the different attributes that you can choose. I'm not going to go through all of them because you can take a look at them whenever you get the opportunity for a deeper dive into that. But for instance, we have here perception. It's going to control your soldiers' damage and critical chance and whatnot. You have reflexes for pilot. That's going to control the ship damage, critical chance, accuracy. One of the most important things to me that the pilot controls is your warp speed and your thruster fuel. That's very important. But I put on character creation absolutely 0 into all these, and let me explain why. If you drop down here to adventure and take a look at intelligence, I put every last stat point of the 35 you're given into adventurer intelligence. Now, why would I do something like that? So let's take a look at what intelligence controls. If you look at it, it's going to control your cargo capacity. Why is that important? You can carry more loot. Let's be honest, most of us here are here to loot, buy, sell things. In the more cargo capacity you have to do that with, the less trips you have to make to stations, the more you can sell per run. Let's look at what else it does. Oh, so intelligence controls your loop drop chance multiplier. So right now the loop drop chance multiplier is at 5. You level it up by 1, it goes 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're going to be getting more loot that drops. What else does it do? It's an experience booster. Well, that's one of the most important things you can have, is one stat that controls all the experience you get for your other attributes, your soldier, your pilot. Let's see how much it increases it by. 6, 7, all the way up to however much you put into that stat. You're going to be getting more experience to put into your soldier and pilot skill. So why dump any attribute points into soldier and pilot when you can be getting it through something that controls all of it? And the adventurer also later on broken down into the explorer. That's the hardest thing to level up in the game. So if you're boosting it from the beginning of the game all through your gameplay, you're going to be getting a lot more experience points. You're going to be getting stronger overall quite a bit faster. But here's what nets you the money. This is why I get paid about 4 times the amount that another person gets paid. So when they let's say loot a trade ship, they will get 1 million. I couldn't understand why, because I was telling them you'll get about 4 million per run. But here's why. Look at what Trader does. It allows selling at higher prices and buying at lower prices in markets. Well, I'm a pirate. That's what I'm doing. I'm here to collect goods. I'm looting trade convoys. I'm looting villages. That's what we do. We're pilots who are starting a galactic empire. We don't need to spend a lot of time doing that. So while they're making 1 million, I'm making 4 million. By the time they make 10 million, I've made 40 million, and so on and so forth exponentially. So let's take a look at what it does if you put every stat point into intelligence. All right, all 35 stat points are put into intelligence. I've gone up to a 15 in trader. Cargo slots are at 20. My experience booster is at 18. Loot drop chance multiplier at 34. It also affects your drone armor, damage, and speed, and of course your cargo capacity. So everything's going to be getting leveled up now at a greatly exponential rate. I hate to use big words that I barely understand what they mean myself, but everything's going to be getting leveled up quite a bit faster. You're going to be making more money. So instead of having to wonder, how am I going to afford this ship that cost $20 million, you're going to be looking at, once I afford this ship that costs $20 million, with some of the reduction that you get in lower prices, that's going to make the ship cost less, the components cost less, the upgrades cost less, the weapons cost less. You're going to be looking at, what kind of weapons do I want? How many more ships do I want to purchase? Let's get this cannon that costs 20 million, because I've got 50 million just sitting in the bank. So it's literally a stat. Intelligence is a stat that controls your entire gameplay, makes everything easier. And that's all I wanted to add. Let's take a look at the background. There's more information in the background, actually. So captain, if you want to get, and here's where you can, let's say, get away from the intelligence build and have things that affect your piloting and soldiering ability. So you can go with the captain. You see what it does here. I'm not going to take the time to read it. Just pause it and take a look at it if you want to. Freelancer, you can choose these. It's going to give you more pilot experience. Mercenary, more damage for handguns. Explorer, that's what I'm going to go. Well, I didn't go with that. Explorer is probably one of the most powerful backgrounds you can choose, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, with some feedback from other pilots in the Discord. But 20% more experience to XP to explore, greater or in 20% faster warp speed, which we spent quite a bit of time in warp. Well, that's rather, those are very powerful bonuses. Of course, I went for merchant because I wish they had a pirate option. I would have chosen it. But it probably wouldn't be perfectly aligned with what I was looking for anyway. So I went with the merchant background. 5% discount on all purchases, 5% increase on all sales, yada yada yada. You see what it does here. Everything I have is for the merchant build, because I can always get better armor or better weapon and be able to be on par with whatever I'm fighting. Same thing goes for the ship. Now let's take a look at appearance. Huge gripe. Look at these characters. They look awful. Awful, 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 awful. Never really looked at female. This isn't fair. Female characters are gorgeous. Look at these guys. They all look like they woke up on the wrong side of a casket. Meanwhile, these women look like they're beauty models, or whatever you call them. They look gorgeous. This is biasness. They're going to get preferential treatment during any trade dispute. They're going to get set on the council faster, because who wants to look at this bozo? Look at that. This is not fair. All right, well, that's what we got. So you can wrap up your character creation with that information. Obviously be a woman, because other than that, you look dead. And that's going to wrap up the video. That's all I wanted to offer, and I hope that you're able to use that information to make your game experience a lot more rewarding, and blah blah blah, so on and so forth. That's it. Bye.